Now there's one last thing I want to do before we move on to a discussion about typography, and that is noticing what we have here in our design. You'll see that every headline and every paragraph, except for these links because I've already styled them, every header and every paragraph has no padding and no margin associated with it. In other words, the elements are squished right up against the edge of the box. You'll see it here when I select this box. The section's right there. The header is right against the edge of the wrapper as well. Now, usually we want to avoid this and we want to get the elements away from the edges. A nice easy way of doing this is to sort of define a global padding on the right and the left hand side for all of our headlines and all of our paragraphs. And this should be inherited from the top all the way down to every single one of these elements, so that anything that is against the edge will be pushed on the side. Now this is useful because it helps with alignment. One of the best things you can do for your design is to make sure that your elements are well aligned. So let's put in some global padding on the left and the right hand side. I'm going to ask you to go to the CSS styles yet again, go to the new CSS rule, and this time we're going to go to the tag, and you'll see that right away, because I had my cursor in header, the H1 is selected. But what I want you to do is to write H1, comma, H2, comma, H3, comma, H4, comma, H5, comma, H6, comma, and we also want to be affecting paragraphs. So once all of these things are defined, we'll click OK. And if it gives you an error, you'll notice when I click on that, it's saying, sorry, tag names must start with an alphabetical character. And that's usually because I've probably done this in the wrong area here. I can select all of this, and I'll just Command X to cut it out, and we'll go to compound based on our selection instead. Compound based on your selection allows for a little bit more customization when you're writing things. So I'll just come in here and say compound, and now I have the same elements in place. Then if I click OK, it will accept all of these predefined selectors that I've chosen to write about. The only thing I want to do is go to the category called box, and for the padding, we've already addressed some top and bottom elements. We're going to be addressing that a little bit later. But right now, all I'm interested in is putting about 20 pixels on the left and 20 pixels on the right-hand side of all of these elements. When we click OK, beautiful. See that? Now, all of our elements, which are inside of the section and the aside and the article and the footer and even the wrapper and the header for that matter, have now all been pushed aside very nice and neatly. Now look at this as far as alignment is concerned. If you don't have your rulers up, remember you can find that under the View menu and you can show your rulers. Once you've got those rulers in place, you can take out a ruler and you can see, look at that, 20 pixels, beautiful. All my text aligns beautifully from the top all the way down to the bottom because they share the same amount. Even here, where I happen to have a section up here and a footer down here, because the size of those elements are the same and because they have the same amount of padding, that's given them perfect alignment. Same thing with this, all the way down through the section, the aside, and the footer. So that's a really beautiful way of ensuring that your padding is going to be consistent throughout the entire document, and it also eliminates the need for us to style left and right padding a little later on. Keeps things very neat, well aligned, and makes it look a whole lot better.